Well, that mostly played out how I'd expected it, but I wasn't really ready for it either way. Episode 8 of Call the Night, second season. Oof, absolute oof. I think the thing that hurts the most about this entire episode is confirming my speculation around the lighter. Now, I had some crazy theory about the idea the reason that Anko carries around the lighter everywhere she goes in the current time is because her father is a vampire and he's still alive. Going to my theory that, yes, the reason that a vampire destroyed her family was that he killed the mother and turned the father, and the father's still out there running around as a vampire, completely forgetting who he is. And eventually she's going to come to him with that lighter. That's why she always keeps it with her, ready for the day that she's going to use it to kill him. And it turned out to actually be what she used to kill the father. And why that hurts the most out of the entire episode is the fact that the lighter was that precious item that tied him to his humanity. Of everything in that house, of his wife and of the daughter, the one thing that ties him to being a human is the gift that his daughter gave him. The thing that she thought that he didn't like, and he left it behind and didn't want to have anything to do with it, it was the most precious thing for him. So it's like an absolute later gut punch. I wonder if Megiddo connected that. I mean, she obviously probably connects that now. I think that probably was a signal to her about how to kill a vampire. Or maybe later on it just clicked for her at some point. Maybe she tried out the theory and it worked again. And she's like, this was his most precious thing. Again, it sucks. It sucks. But overall, the episode, I was kind of surprised that it took an entire episode to get to that whole punchline. I was really expecting the episode to open up with the downfall of Megiddo, and it seemed like it wanted to kind of drag it out the entire episode. I don't mean drag it out as a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. Why it's so good is because it showed basically Megiddo being broke down, eventually getting a little bit of a high from Nazuna, and then having total happiness with the family before all breaks again. And what that does is that really gives a reason for why she hates vampires so much. Because if the episode opened up and the father and mother die right there, I don't think she would hate vampires as much. This was a small taste of her getting her family back. A small taste of what she lost before that she was upset at her father for. She was mad at her father because this thing that she loves is gone. Because, yeah, as she points out at some point in the episode, I think you were right. My family, I did love my family. I did have a loving family, but it's gone now because my father took it away. She got it back very briefly, and then it got taken away. Now, I think that is sort of a curious thing there, because why did the father return? Why did the father return? There was a side of me that almost wondered if possibly he became a vampire a long time ago. He said he never craved blood before, and suddenly he's craving blood, and he obviously went mad. Going mad is sort of a sign that they have gone without blood for too long. They go crazy. That was like that first vampire that we've seen Anko take out. It was a guy that was resisting the urge for blood, and then it eventually made him go mad. It's implying that the father had the same issue. He was staying away for so long. But why does he remember his family so much? What clued him in going home? Because you'd imagine if he's been a vampire for a while, you would assume that probably about the time that he started to have an affair, that affair was probably another vampire. An assumption here. that affair was another vampire, probably the one that kicked Nazuna across the street. They seen that Nazuna was chasing after her prey, and she attacked. So the assumption is that the father has been a vampire for a while now. And then at some point, that probably caused him to be away from the family more and more, probably forgetting about his family. But something triggered for him to go back. That's the question mark. All I can assume is that he just had a random spur in his brain to find something that he was losing and go, you know what? I had a family. Why did I leave my family? I need to get back to my family. Why am I away from my family? And he finally goes back to the family and says, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, that whole thing that happened. Whatever, I apologize. I want my family back. And then again, he touched that lighter. He touched that lighter, and that I guess that instinct to survive kicks in as a vampire, and suddenly he just goes nuts and starts attacking. Overall, it sucks. Let me get to the episode proper, because I'm going to end up missing a segment of the episode. Opening up the beginning segment, yes, them getting caught. And then I like this little note in here after the mother comes there and Nazuna hides inside the closet, and then they finally come back out. And she hid away the shoes. And Nazuna mentions something about the fact that you're really good at hiding evidence. You're a true criminal or something like that. And it's so obviously intentional, the fact that they have Megiddo mention, I believe the understanding the mind of the offender is the quickest path to solving the case. Okay, Miss Detective. Okay, Miss Detective. We're totally not putting that there for a specific reason. But yeah, kind of seeing them having a lot of fun right there. But they go to the stakeout. I love the whole segment where, yeah, she's hiding underneath the table. You need to stay down there because he's right next to us. Sounds great. She's just like the perfect view right up Nazuna's skirt. She's just geeking out and drooling underneath the table the entire time. No, let's just stay here. Don't stake out. No, don't trail him. Let me stay right here. It's so pervy. Like, she's an absolute perv. Which, again, this whole episode makes it hurt more, the fact that she's so against Nazuna right now. Oh, it sucks. But yes, at some point, the father gets up to go leave, and Nazuna jumps up to go chase after him, dashing down the street, and then at some point getting kicked across the street into the building. I tried to do a frame by frame. It's very hard to see who it is. The only thing you can really make out from frame by frame is that it's somebody with a long skirt, wearing some sort of maybe one-piece dress or something like that down to the ankles, and long hair. That doesn't really that doesn't really narrow it down. It could be Kiku. I think Kiku, of the current cast that is here, I think Kiku is the only one that I would probably suspect. I just don't see anybody from like Nico's group, Kabura, Hatsuka, any of them. I don't see any of them going along with this, because again, this feels intentionally wrong. And what Nico and the rest of them have sort of established is that this is how you do things. If you don't turn them within a year, you have to get rid of them. You have to get them out of the picture. There's all these rules they've set as vampires in society in order to blend in, is you don't do these things. And it seems like whatever happened to the father is kind of similar to the guy that happened at the school. These are cases where you don't want to have something like this happen because it puts a spotlight on you. So the only person I can really think of is maybe... Now, even Kiku, it's not really the case. There's a little bit of a sense here that Kiku is an aggressive person, but they haven't specified that Kiku has done anything wrong. So I don't know. Even with Kiku, I can't even really see that picture there. But it's probably got to be a different party, a separate party that did this to the father. And again, so I don't really know that we can even paint a picture as to who this vampire is. It might just end up being a villain they run into later on. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, she harmed her hand, and that's when she has to reveal to Meshiro that, yes, I'm not actually human. You're going to find out eventually I'm actually a vampire. What? A vampire? What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, all this kind of stuff. Getting into, yes, how to turn somebody and all that kind of stuff. Eventually they go outside during the day and she's all covered up and everything. You really are a vampire, like finally cementing in her head. But there was a little bit of discussion in the idea of actually turning her, which comes to the picture the next day when she does come to the club, and yeah, Measure's not doing good. She went home that day, even though she was out all night, and nobody cared. The father wasn't there. The mother didn't even ask any questions. She's just mumbling to herself about the father being gone. And yes, she's broken. And I love this whole scene. Like, oh my gosh, this scene right here is literally like, again, it's the downfall. This is the break point. Because everything up until now, every sequence that we have with Meijiro, with Nazuna, it feels like this is a strong girl. You obviously know that she's broken inside, but outwardly she's very strong. It doesn't seem like she wants to express that she's in trouble. She doesn't want to express that she's hurting. She doesn't want to show that she's hurting. But she's obviously hurting. She's covering it up with this facade that she just doesn't care. And that everybody's disgusting, doesn't care about anybody, and it doesn't affect her. She's not going to let it keep her down. Here is an actual breakdown point. And I love how Nazuna just climbs over that table. This is like one of those moments in a lot of anime where I just don't understand why people don't just rush over there and give the person a damn hug. Nazuna literally just leaps up, climbs over the table, hugs her, and says sorry. Because everything up until now is Nazuna not really understanding humans. Again, the entire time Mejiro has been with Nazuna, she's writing up this journal about how this thing doesn't seem human. It's like a child learning these things for the first time. She acts weird. She's not normal. What is with this person? Here, Nazuna it's clicking for her. Oh, she's hurting. I want to stop this. And yes, even like 2 points in this episode, it has pointed out that Nazuna up until this point never wanted to turn anybody because she always wanted to be alone. Now suddenly, she's feeling a bond to Meijiro. And she wants to comfort Meijiro. Even earlier when they're talking about the idea that, I think I did have a good family, a loving family. I don't want to know if I want to bother with this. And Nazuna gets angry for her. No, he took your family from you and you love it so much. Let's take it back. Nazuna is getting very emotionally invested in Meijiro. And again, right here, Meijiro is for the first time really showing outwardly her pain. Why don't they care about me? Why didn't mom ask about me? I'm a 17-year-old that's out at night and she doesn't even care for me. She didn't even ask for me. She didn't call out to me. Didn't even acknowledge me. Nobody cares about me. And it hurts. I don't even have friends to tell this to, but what would even that even matter? My chest, it hurts. Again, finally, it's all breaking for her. But yes, in response to this, Nazuna is trying to figure out what she could do. I do like that kind of panic state that's in there. Instantaneous, like, calculation of what can I do to make her stop hurting. The only thing she can come up with is, let me turn you. The only thing she can come up with is, let me turn you. That's the only thing that she comes to the conclusion of. Which, yes, turns into them trying it. Cute little segment there. Little interlacing fingers and everything. Cutting to the bathroom, still seeing a reflection. I'm like, well, I guess it didn't work. She's not quite in love with her yet. But it seems to imply the idea that from that point on, they were going to meet every night and see if she can make her fall in love with Nazuna. And if she can, she'll be able to turn her. But yes, they don't really quite get that. I do love that little bit there when they were going to leave, where Nazuna does admit the fact that I've never considered about turning somebody before. You're the first one. You're the first one that I've actually drank their blood while they were awake. She's like, how have you been surviving? And I just find some drunk people and drink them, which probably explains why Nazuna is so into drinking. Drinking too many drunk people's blood. It was a cute little segment there. Can I kiss you? No, maybe later on, though. It was cute. It was quite cute. Yeah, jumping around, everything. But yes, going home to have that little bit of taste of happiness. I was really the entire time at the edge of my seat, just waiting for when it was going to happen. Because I did have a lot of feeling around the birthday. Because yes, when she comes home, he's apologizing. The mother apologized for neglecting her. Everything seems to be coming together. And yet it seems like Meijiro is upset because obviously I just committed to becoming a vampire. And it's really a frustration from Meijiro's perspective because finally I've given up on the family. She literally chose to walk away from the family. And now finally the family's coming back. No, I've already accepted this is done. And now you're coming back to me. Stop. It's too late. It sucks. Yeah. The birthday. Ugh. I was waiting for a vampire to bust through the window the entire time the birthday was happening. I was like, it's going to happen when she blows the candles. Okay, it's still not happening. They're eating cake. When is it going to happen? Oh, she's bringing up the lighter. It's going to happen right now. I'm just waiting for it to happen. It didn't even dawn on me. I wasn't really even thinking about the idea of the father being the vampire right now. Again, I was assuming that he was probably a target of a vampire. He left the vampire, and now the vampire is coming to get him back. Something like that. It wasn't really until he dropped the lighter. Yeah, she brings up the fact the lighter. And again, pretty much what I suspected. He put it away because he was afraid of losing it. And again, it could be an idea that, yes, that was the initial reason why he put it away. But then, again, he got caught up with this vampire, and eventually they turned him, and he finally decided to come back home. Like, randomly, again, remembered the family or something like that, and came back home. But yes, goes to light it, and drops the lighter. It didn't do it the first time. That was the interesting thing. He does it, and then he's like, wow, the taste is weird. And again, I think that's the just hitting in there, kicking in that aspect of the vampire. Again, I'm still to the theory that he was turned a long time ago, started forgetting his family, suddenly remembered them, came back. And again, the lack of blood for so long as a vampire made him go crazy. That's what causes them to turn feral like that. But yeah, he drops it. She pokes it in his hand. And then goes to hit her. It sucks. Like, all that sucks. He's completely deranged. And it seems like he doesn't really regain his mind until he actually drinks the wife's blood. Completely drains her and then suddenly goes, oh, what am I doing here? Like, again, that feralness is gone. He was feral, attacks without even thinking what he's targeting. And it isn't until he drinks her blood that suddenly he snaps back to, oh yeah, that's right. Honey, what are you doing on the ground? Like, it just completely regains his consciousness. Ugh. Just assuming that it's all one big dream. And I could see that. Yeah, this can't be real. There's no way that's my wife. This can't be happening. I don't know why he would go to target his daughter just because, yeah, it's his dream. Might as well just suck my daughter's blood too. All right, that sounds cool, right, guys? It all sucks. It all sucks. But yes, she grabs a lighter, beats it over his head. It seems like click at some point to her that has something to do with it. And I could probably guess that's just her being kind of smart when it comes to kind of figuring things out, reading so many detective novels and stuff like that, just trying anything in that moment. This is probably what kind of does it. Stick this on him. It seems like it was causing him pain. And it makes sense because she first hit him over the head and he said, oh, it's definitely a dream because it didn't hurt. And in the moment that she grabs that and hits him, suddenly he's going, ah, it makes sense that this is for some reason harming him. But yes, after strangling him and everything, that's when Nazuna comes in there and she says, "You could have drained me dry, couldn't you? You could have killed me right then and there. Can you suck a person dry and kill them?" I kind of, this is one of those sucky moments where there's no answer for this for her. She knows the answer. It's like she even says, it was a stupid question. She knows the answer to it. She hates vampires because vampires, again, took her family from her. She had a taste of it being together, and that disappeared because a vampire destroyed her family. I think the fact that her family coming back together for that brief moment reminded her of the thing that she loved so much about her family that she lost, and she got it back, and the vampires destroyed it. The vampires are evil. They destroy families. So no matter what Nazuna says, nothing's going to help her in the situation. She hates them. But I think the thing that sucks here is how she pushed Nazuna away. She doesn't attack Nazuna because I think that she still cares for Nazuna. But I think the only answer that Nazuna really could have for her is the fact that, yes, just like everything else, if you draw too much blood, the person dies. A doctor can kill people just by drawing too much blood. A vampire can kill somebody just by drawing too much blood. A human can kill another human just by pushing into them too hard. No matter what, it always depends on how far you go with something. Everything can kill you. If you drink too much water, water's deadly. Why? If you drink too much, you get poisoned. Too much of anything will kill you. And if you do too much of something to somebody, you can kill them. It's no different for the vampires. But again, I don't think that answer would even matter for her. She just hates vampires for taking away her family. And it sucks. It sucks. I even hate that moment where she's going out the door. Where are you going? Going to school. I don't think I could ever become a vampire. Can I try one more time? That was literally her saying, you couldn't turn me because I don't love you. That's literally her saying, I don't love you, Nazuna. You can try again. Do you want to try? I don't love you. And basically, I can't love you. I hate vampires, and you are a vampire. Ugh, it sucks. But yeah, then we finish up the episode. What's with these cliffhangers, dude? Again, I think they're taking notes from To Be Hero X. What's with these cliffhanger episode endings? Like, we have Anko just suddenly popping up out of nowhere in front of Nazuna and Co. I'm curious. I think next episode is going to be very telling, because I even went back and skimmed through the first season. I don't ever remember Nazuna and Anko ever being in a scene together. And I think this is our first time seeing the two of them together. So I'm very curious to see what Anko thinks of Nazuna. Is she like the only vampire that she won't touch? Does she feel that Nazuna is somebody that she can free at some point? I don't know. Will Nazuna end up revealing to Anko something that maybe Anko already knows? That I was born a vampire and you can't do the same thing to me. Not that it matters to Anko because, again, Anko knows more than one way to kill a vampire. I want to hope that in the end, Anko will see Nazuna as somebody that she never wants to kill. That she's the one that she doesn't touch. But I don't think that'll be the case. It sucks. It sucks. And it sucks because I think after that first attack that Anko had with the group of vampires and everybody, I don't like Anko. And then suddenly we have this backstory of Mejiro, and it's like, damn it, now I kind of like her now. It's a gut punch episode, like straight up gut punch episode. Again, like I said earlier, I think that whole scene with Nazuna climbing over the table, it was so beautiful. Like, it was just so beautiful. Anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 8 of Call the Night season 2. Really kind of growing a curiosity about how we're going to build up the rest of the season. I'm growing more and more thinking that it's going to be Kiku that's going to be like the big focal point of the last little arc here, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 8. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did hit the like button down below, if you like this content and want to support channel more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.